You know what? I'm ready.
Do it.
Number 22.
All right, most intriguing Seahawks every day at 8 o'clock or today at 8:04. Sometimes that happens when you're moving around pieces. Number 25, Brock, was Drew Lock. Number 24, Chris Stoll, the long snapper. We'll see whether or not he ends up being intriguing or not. Number 23 was Trey Brown. Today we're going to go to the other side of the ball. Number 22, wide receiver, Dareke Young. And in some ways, he's sort of a matched pair with a guy that we've already spent some time talking about today, D. Eskridge, because I think they're competing for some playing time. They're different kinds of players, but gosh, how do you not like what Dareke Young brought last year when he finally made it into games? He was great in the preseason. You couldn't help but notice him, but I see kind of a Jermaine Kearse type, a guy who seems to be willing to do all the dirty work, does all the little things, but probably with a little bit more speed and a little bit more physicality than Kearse was able to bring to the position.
That's a tough one for me because Kearse was a pretty darn refined route runner. Pretty.
I'm not giving him that credit yet. I didn't say he could run routes like Kearse. I'm saying he could do a lot of the little things, the setting of the not pick picks, the blocking down when you need to block down, the taking a screen and running with it. I think he's a little more athletic.
No, that's all fair. Yes, he's bigger.
I think he's willing to, bigger, more athletic, etc. But I think he's willing to do some of those things. I see him as sort of a cross between Jermaine Kearse and Chris Matthews.
Ooh, that's a pretty good one.
Thank you.
That's a
I gotta take the rest of the day off. There we go.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comp. And I love this little sound we've got on our sound sheet talking about Dareke Young. And it was actually Pete Carroll who had special teams coach Larry Izzo give Dareke Young a blowhorn as a rookie to do this. Here was Pete talking about that last year.
He looks great, and he's working hard. He got to talk to the special teams group on the night before the game because of the play that he brought forth. Larry Izzo gave him a chance to speak out, and he handled himself well. A kid from Lenore Ryan, man, and he's doing it. And so he's going to have a real future. He's a real stud of a kid. Really, really smart and really tough.
He can block a little bit too, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's playing fullback. You see, he's playing fullback yesterday and a couple times. Yep, he's going to do more.
He's number 22 on this list, but he's one of my favorite players on this team. He's a guy that I'm rooting for as hard as anybody. And some of it is that he's from a small school and trying to make it, and I think that's a good story. Some of it is that he's just one of those guys who seems to do the right thing on the football field, which I think is great. I don't know how much four wide they're going to do this year because they've got such a deep tight end group and they don't want to take their running backs. I mean, it's not a formation that necessarily fits them. So I don't know how much he'll be on the field, but I just really like him. He's a guy that I root for.
You know what he needs? He needs a neck roll.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Just an old school, the little white one, around the pad. Just put a neck roll so you can play some of that fullback.
I think that's going to happen.
H-back, special teams.
Remember last year I interviewed Kobe Bryant, went over there to just chat with him and asked him who we weren't talking enough about? Well,
I would say Dareke Young. Dareke is the ultimate competitor. I feel like he's a silent assassin, too. He's kind of like me. He just puts his head down and go to work. He even surprised me. I knew he was good, obviously, but, just to see him show up every day, whether if it's on special teams or whatever it may be, and he goes 100 miles per hour every day, so I respect him for that.
Okay. What he can't do, fine, he can't wear a neck roll because he's a wide receiver. Fine. You know what else he can't do? Shorten his name to Reek.
No.
Can't do it.
Yeah, we're not going to, no.
But he could be Reek
on one team.
I mean, he could be Reek the Freak because he is pretty darn athletic too at his position. And number 1, 2, and 3 with these receivers totally locked up and locked down, and they know their roles. 4, 5, and 6. What that looks like on the perimeter, whom that's going to be, the battle that will be on special teams. D. Eskridge, are you going to be able to be the fourth? You got the most dynamic athleticism. Put on a show again yesterday. Maura Dooley, eyes all over D. Eskridge yesterday.
If you had to bet right now, who is your number 4 receiver? Is it Dareke Young or is it D. Eskridge?
Right now, I'm going to bet on Dareke. Right now. Because D's got to do it. He's got to, as Pete said after practice yesterday,
I'm going to take availability. I'm going to take doing the dirty work.
Durability.
And some of those things. Right. I mean, all of those things are important. So we'll see whether or not D can pull that off. But Dareke Young, number 22 on the most intriguing list.
Good audible.
For the Seahawks this year.
Good job, right
there. Thank you. Yeah, we got it done.
Way to run the show.